Hello friends, welcome to the video lessons on electronic measuring instruments. In today's class, I am going to explain about the bridge circuits, what are bridge circuits, and what is the condition for bridge balance, and how the condition for bridge balance can be obtained, and then one DC bridge circuit, that is Wheatstone bridge. So, we are going to discuss in today's class about introduction to bridge circuits, conditions for bridge balance, classification of bridge circuits, Wheatstone bridge circuit, its basic operation and measurement of unknown resistance. In the last class, we have seen about high voltage probe, constant current probe, and differential type of voltmeter. In differential voltmeter, the basic PMMC movement is used as null detector, and the unknown input voltage is compared with a standard reference voltage, and when the unknown voltage is equal to the reference voltage, the null detector reads 0, and the voltage at which the null detector reads 0 is equal to the unknown voltage. That is the principle used in differential voltmeter. And of course, the same principle is used even in bridge circuits also. So, what is a bridge? Bridge circuit is an assembly of at least four circuit elements such as resistors, inductors, capacitors, transducers, etc., together with a current source and a null point detecting device or null detector. That is a bridge circuit. So a bridge circuit consists of four arms, and in those four arms, either resistors, inductors, capacitors, transducers, or the combinations of these components or circuit elements can be used. Bridge circuits are classified into two categories. They are DC bridges and AC bridges. DC bridges and AC bridges. In DC bridges, only real impedances, that is, resistances, are used in the arms. Basically, impedance is a complex quantity indicated with the symbol Z, and Z is equal to R plus Jx, where R is called as the real element, that is resistance, and X is called as the imaginary element, that is called reactance. So the combination of resistance and reactance is called as impedance. And in DC bridges, only resistances are used. And the source of current here can be either a DC source or AC source. We can use DC current as well as AC current, because for resistances there is no difference for DC or AC. The currents that are flowing through resistances, they produce proportionate voltages irrespective of the frequency of the AC signal, whether it is 0 or it is very high value AC. So the source of current can be either DC source or AC source. And the detector used can be a null detector or headphones or speakers. Suppose if it is a null detector, then by proper adjustment of circuit components, we will get 0 value on the detector. Instead of null detector, if headphone is used as detector, then by proper adjustment of the bridge circuit elements, the sound in headphones or the sound in speakers would gradually decrease, and when it becomes 0, when the sound becomes 0, no sound, in that case we can say that the bridge is balanced. The bridge is said to be balanced when the null detector indicates 0, or when the headphones or speakers used across the bridge output terminals produce no sound. The next is AC bridges. AC bridge employs reactive elements as well as resistive elements. That is why it is given as impedance elements, consisting of resistances, capacitances, inductances, etc. in its arms. And here source of current is AC. What happens when DC source is applied? When DC source is applied, resistance produces appropriate voltage across its component, voltage across it. But for zero frequency, the reactance of inductance and capacitance depends on the frequency of the current flowing through it. The inductive reactance is given as J omega C. Omega is 2 pi f, angular frequency, and f is the frequency. So depending upon the frequency, inductance value will change, inductive impedance will change. Similarly, depending upon the frequency, capacitive impedance or capacitive reactance will change. Capacitive reactance is given by the expression J by omega c. Omega is angular frequency and it is equal to 2 pi f. So for AC signals, they produce some substantial reactances. But for DC, where the frequency is zero, inductance offers zero reactance. That means it acts as a short circuit. Whereas capacitance offers infinite reactance. That means it acts as a open circuit. So for AC bridges, the source of current should be AC only. And the detector used can be a null detector or headphones or speakers, as in case of DC. Here also all the three detectors can be used. And the bridge is said to be balanced when the zero current flows through the null detector, or zero sound is heard in the headphones or speakers placed across the bridge output terminals. Now, the basic bridge circuit is as shown in figure here, mainly consisting of four impedances Z1, Z2, Z3, Z4, and AC excitation is connected across terminals C and D with a polarity shown like this, and its amplitude is E. E here in this case is RMS value, not the DC value. And a null detector is placed across the output terminals of the bridge, that is between terminals A and B. Between terminals A and B, a null detector, or for that matter a speaker or a headphone, can be used. Now, in this arrangement, as you can see, when current flows through the bridge circuit, then that current gets divided into two parts as IA and IB. Assume that the null detector is not there in the circuit, and we want to know what are the potentials across A and B. So when current IA is flowing through Z1, the same current flows through Z2 also. So what is the voltage at terminal A? The voltage at terminal A is the drop across impedance Z2, that is I into Z2 is VA, right? On the second side, a current IB is flowing through Z3. Same IB flows through Z4 also. Now, what is the voltage at terminal B? Voltage at terminal B is nothing but the drop across impedance Z4. So, EB, E suffix B is equal to IB into Z4. So, what is the value of IA? Here, when terminals A and B are open, that means when nothing is placed here, Z1, Z2 is simply a potential divider with a voltage of E applied across terminals A and C and D. So the resulting current IA is nothing but E by Z1 plus Z2. Similarly, the resulting current IB is nothing but the supply voltage E by Z3 plus Z4. And what is the voltage at terminal VA? VA is equal to IA into Z2. What is IA? IA is E by Z1 plus Z2. So VA can be written as E by Z1 plus Z2 into Z2, right? Similarly, VB is equal to IB into Z4. In turn, IB can be written as E by Z3 plus Z4. So VB is equal to E by Z3 plus Z4 into Z4, right? Now, when a bridge is said to be balanced when the output across the bridge is 0. That is when VA is equal to VB, or when VA minus VB or VB minus VA are equal to 0, then we can say that the bridge is balanced. Right. Just now what I have explained, the same is written here. Expression for IA is obtained by using KVL through the path CAD, that is CAD. IA is equal to E by Z1 plus Z2. Voltage at terminal A is nothing but the drop across the impedance Z2, and hence VA is equal to IA into Z2. In turn, IA is E by Z1 plus Z2 into Z2. This is VA. Similarly, expression for VB is obtained by using KVL through the path CBD. This one, CBD. IB is equal to E by Z3 plus Z4, and voltage at the terminal B is nothing but the drop across the impedance Z4, and hence VB is equal to IB into Z4, which is equal to, replacing IB with E by Z3 plus Z4, VB can be written as E by Z3 plus Z4 into Z4. This is the expression for VB. And here this is the expression for VBA. Now, the bridge is said to be balanced when VA is equal to VB and no current flows through the null detector, and null detector reads 0. So with this condition, when VA is equal to VB, E by Z1 plus Z2 into Z2, which is VA, is equal to E by Z3 plus Z4 into Z4. This is VB. Now you can see here cross multiplication can be done. So by applying cross multiplication, E into Z3 plus Z4, E on both sides can be cancelled out, right? E on both sides can be cancelled out. So Z2 into Z3 plus Z4 is equal to Z1 plus Z2 into Z4. So here it is Z2 Z3 Z2 Z3 plus Z2 Z4 is equal to, right hand side is Z1 Z4 plus Z2 Z4. Now see the second terms both on left hand side and right hand side of the equation. They are same, Z2 Z4. So they will get cancelled out, and the final expression for bridge balance condition is Z2 Z3 is equal to Z1 Z4. Z2 Z3 is equal to Z1, Z4. What is that? Z2, Z3 equal to Z1, Z4. That means you can say that for any bridge at balance, the product of the impedances in opposite arms is equal. The product of the impedances in opposite arms. This is generalized statement because Z1, Z4 equal to Z2, Z3 in this case. Now if I change Z1 here, Z2 here, Z3 here and Z4 here. In that case, expression changes. Z1, Z3 equal to Z2, Z4. Instead of that, if I write Z1, Z2, Z3, Z4, in that case, the expression changes once again back to Z1, Z4 equal to Z2, Z3. Instead of using the variables, it can be generalized as at bridge balance, the product of the impedances in opposite arms are equal. That is, Z1, Z4 in this particular case is equal to Z2, Z3. Now, up to here we have seen. Next, hence the bridge balance condition is R1, R4 is equal to R2, R3 for DC bridges since all the bridge arms are resistive in nature. So for DC bridges, Z1 equal to R1, Z2 equal to R2, Z3 equal to R3, Z4 equal to R4. So obviously, by replacing impedance with resistance, the bridge balance condition for a DC bridge can be written as R1, R4 is equal to R2, R3. And for AC bridges, because the impedance depends on the frequency, it has to be written as it is. So for AC bridges, it is Z1, Z4 equal to Z2, Z3, or it can also be written as Y1, Y4 equal to Y2, Y3, where Y1, Y2, Y3, and Y4 are admittances of the four arms. 1 by Z1 is Y1, 1 by Z2 is Y2, 1 by Z4 is Y4, 1 by Z2 is Y2, 1 by Z3 is Y3. So simply by inversing this equation, that means uh, simply the equation is what we say, the left hand portion is brought to the right hand side. So it becomes 1 by Z4, Z1, Z4, and the right hand side is brought to the left hand side. So that becomes 1 by Z2, Z3. 1 by Z2, Z3 is Y2, Y3. 1 by Z1, Z4 is Y1, Y4. So in both the cases, the bridge is balanced. Since Z1, Z2, Z3 and Z4, that is impedances of the four arms, are Y1, Y2, Y3 and Y4, that is the admittances of the four arms, are vector quantities. They have both magnitude and phase. The impedances both, they have both magnitude and phase. So here Z1, Z4 equal to Z2, Z3 can also be written as modulus of Z1, that is magnitude of Z1, and at a phase angle of theta 1. Modulus of Z4 at an angle theta 4, is equal to modulus of Z2, that is magnitude of Z2 at an angle theta 3, theta 2. Modulus of Z3 or magnitude of Z3 at an angle theta 3. Here we have got one magnitude and phase angle. So when magnitudes are multiplied, they will be they will remain the same, that is Z1 Z4. But when phase angles are multiplied, only the sum has to be taken. The sum has to be taken. Why? Because actually Z1 at an angle theta 1 is nothing but Z1 into e power minus I theta 1, right? Z1 into e power I theta 1. And for Z4, it is Z4 into e power I theta 4. Now multiply these two, Z1 e power I theta 1 into Z4 e power I theta 4 is equal to Z1 into Z2 into base is common, e power I theta 1 into e power I theta 4. Base is common, so it can be written as e power I into theta 1 plus theta 4. Now what is the product? The product is Z1 Z4 into e power I into theta 1 plus theta 4. That is one way of writing the expression. Other way is simply like this. In place of theta, replace with the sum. Z1 Z4 at an angle of theta 1 plus theta 4 and Z2 Z3 at an angle of theta 2 plus theta 3. The above equation indicates that two conditions must be satisfied simultaneously to balance an AC bridge. The two balance conditions are: first one, the product of the magnitudes of impedances of the opposite arms must be equal. Magnitude of Z1 into magnitude of Z4 equal to magnitude of Z2 into magnitude of Z3. Right? Second condition is the sum of the phase angles of the opposite arms should be equal. That is theta 1 for the first arm, theta 4 for the fourth arm. So theta 1 plus theta 4 is equal to theta 2 for the second arm and theta 3 for the third arm. So this Z1 Z4 equal to Z2 Z3 means that its magnitude products must be same, product of magnitudes of the opposite arms must be same, and the sum of the phase angles of the opposite arms must also be same. When these two conditions are satisfied, then only we can say that Z1 Z4 equal to Z2 Z3. If any one of the condition is not met, this condition is not met. Is that clear? For an AC bridge, the magnitudes, the product of the magnitudes of the impedances in the opposite arms should be equal, and the sum of the phase angles of the impedances in the opposite arms should be equal. These two conditions are to be satisfied for an AC circuit. Right. This is all about condition for bridge balance. This is very important concept. The next one is Wheatstone bridge. Sorry, some more information is there. So It is not necessary for the four impedances to have identical phase angles or even for the impedances to be of the same kind, so long as the phase angle differences satisfy the above condition. The individual branches may themselves be in series or parallel combinations and may include resistance, inductance, and capacitance elements separately or in combination. That is, an arm can be either a simple capacitance or a parallel combination of resistance and capacitance. Similarly, an arm can be a simple inductance or a series combination of resistance and inductance. And another arm can be the series combination of inductance and capacitance or the parallel combination of inductance and capacitance or the parallel combination of an inductor and a resistor in series with the parallel combination of a capacitor and resistor. So any combination can be used as one of the bridge arms. So this leads to a very large number of possible combinations, but not all these combinations form workable bridges because for Z1, Z4 equal to Z2, Z3, both angle condition and magnitude condition and phase angle condition both are to be met. So they both conditions are satisfied only for certain combinations of resistors, capacitors, and inductors. So out of many possible combinations, only few combinations can be used for the design of a AC bridge circuit. So a particularly useful group of bridges is obtained if two of the arms are purely resistive. There are other useful methods which are more complicated than the four-arm AC bridge. Example, Anderson bridge or Carey-Foster bridge. They will have double bridges or more than four arms. Okay. The number of possible bridge circuits is obviously extremely large. Not all of these are of practical importance, but the number which has been developed for partial use is continuously increasing. That is, a bridge can be used for a certain application. So for that particular application, the bridge can be designed. And for another application, another combination of components. It will be useful only for that application. And it will be used only for that application. It will be designed only for that application. So not all of these are of practical importance, but the number which that means the number of combinations which has been developed for partial use is continuously increasing. The selection of bridge circuits described here is so made to illustrate the main use of such networks. Each is of theoretical interest and of course of practical value. Right? This is all about the bridge, what is a bridge, and what is the classification, that is DC bridge and AC bridge, and the basic structure of a bridge and the condition for bridge balance for DC bridges and AC bridges. This is all a generalized analysis. Now let us try to analyze a simple DC bridge circuit, that is Wheatstone bridge. And here of course an example problem also is mentioned. The following data relates to the basic AC bridge of figure 5.2. What we have seen there. Z1 is equal to 50 at an angle 80, Z2 is equal to 125 ohms, and Z3 is equal to 200 at an angle 30. Find the value of Z4. A bar on the top of that indicates that it is a vector. So, solution here, Z1 magnitude is given as 50, phase angle 80. Z2 magnitude is given as 125, so naturally phase angle is 0. We have to assume the phase angle to be 0 when nothing is mentioned. And Z3 magnitude is given as 200 and phase angle is 30 degrees. So applying the standard condition for bridge balance, Z1, Z4 equal to Z2, Z3. So Z4 is equal to Z2, Z3 by Z1. This is magnitude condition. What is Z2? 125 magnitude. Magnitude of Z3 is 200. Magnitude of Z1 is 50. So 120 into 200 by 50. So 50 fours are 200, 125 fours are 500. Impedance the magnitude of impedance Z4 is 500 ohms. Then phase angle condition tells that theta 1 plus theta 4 equal to theta 2 plus theta 3. Here theta 1 is 80, theta 4 is not given, so let it be theta 4 as it is. Theta 2 is 0 because nothing is mentioned for Z2, and theta 3 is 30. So the left hand side is 80 plus theta 4, right hand side is 30. Taking 80 to the right hand side, it becomes negative. So theta 4 is equal to 30 minus 80, that is minus 50. So what is vector Z4 now? It is magnitude of Z4, which is 500 at an angle of minus 50 ohms, minus 50 degrees, minus 50 degrees ohms. Minus indicates that this Z4 is capacitive in nature, whereas plus indicates that Z1 and Z3 are inductive in nature, right? Next, applications of bridge circuits. Okay, before going to the study of one of the DC bridge circuits, let us see what are the generalized applications for bridge circuits. First one, for precise measurement of component values of resistive and reactive elements. So, by using the bridge circuits, we can find out the component values of resistive and reactive elements. What are reactive elements? Inductors and capacitors. So we can find out the value of resistance or value of inductance or value of capacitance using a bridge circuit. And second one, bridge circuits can be used for the measurement of unknown frequency. Using AC bridges, we can find out the unknown frequency, right? Then bridge circuits are used for the measurement of component values of transducers like RTD, thermistor, variable inductance transducer, variable capacitance transducer, etc. So instead of reactive components as such, Transducers can also be used in one of the arms, and by balancing the bridge, their values also can be found out. For example, RTD resistance will change with the temperature. It increases with temperature. So at one particular temperature, place the RTD in the bridge and apply the bridge balance condition to know the unknown value of the RTD resistance. Similarly, thermistor is the resistance of a thermistor is sensitive to temperature, and its value decreases with resistance with the temperature. So at a particular temperature, thermistor is placed in one of the arms of the bridge circuit, and by balancing the bridge, we can find out the value of thermistor resistance. Right? Similarly, variable inductance transducer. Place it in one of the arms, apply bridge balance condition, we can find out the unknown value of inductance. Variable capacitance transducer. Place it as one of the arms, apply bridge balance condition, and find out the value of unknown capacitance. So that is one important application. And for fourth one is in oscillator circuits. Bridge circuits are used as feedback path elements to produce the required phase shift in oscillator circuits. So in oscillator circuits, generally for producing sustained oscillations, Barkhausen criteria has to be satisfied. What does Barkhausen criteria say? The magnitude, the total gain around the loop should be equal to 1, or total amplification around the loop should be equal to 1, and the total phase angle around the loop should be equal to 0. So if in the forward path, if there is an introduction of phase angle of say 180 degrees, additional 180 degrees phase angle has to be incorporated in the feedback path. That can be done by using a bridge circuit. By using a bridge circuit, additional phase angle or phase shift can be introduced into the oscillator in order to satisfy Barkhausen criteria and in order to produce sustained oscillations. So these are some of the applications of bridge circuits. Okay, we'll stop here. Then we'll continue with the Wheatstone bridge after some time. Please stay back. Thank you.